Hello and welcome. Episode 50 of the Magnus Protocol is here. It actually came out like a week and a half ago, almost 2 weeks now. Maybe it is 2 weeks now. Either way, so sorry it's taken so long, but we're here. It's time. I just got done listening, just got done researching. Let's talk about it. Episode 50, Deep Trouble. You have probably had time to go over this episode and come up with a bunch of theories, and I'm really interested in hearing all of them, but we do have a break for Magnus. There will be a side series, and I'll try to record those as they come out, but based on this one's recording, we'll see. But this is a really fun episode to end things on for this year, as we wait for the following 10 episodes next year, before there will probably be another break again as season 2 of Magnus Protocol ends off. But this is a Sam episode, which means our case number is the Sam case number. I'm not reading the whole thing off again, but it's there. You can see it on screen right now. The zone is more active than usual, and we start with Olivia and Callum. And let me get the transcript up while I am talking about this so that I have it on that other screen. They are patrolling along with a bunch of other wardens trying to find Error, the Archivist, and they don't even realize that it comes up beside them. It's the fact that one of them gets grabbed and the other one dies bitten by fog with teeth is just heartbreaking to me. Like, they've survived everything else. That is a cat hair. They've survived everything else, and now here they are, just... It's sad, right? They made it through all of Archives to get here, and now we're killed. But Callum gives his story as the Archivist feeds off of it, right? Deep down in a submarine, not on a submarine, in a submarine. The ice-cold ocean surrounding him, in the wheelhouse. Messages from the captain, who is long gone, of Poseidon, of Neptune, of Mazu, of Leviathan, and of Susanoo. This is really interesting, right? A lot of these are gods of the sea, right? You have Poseidon, Neptune, and Mazu. Mazu is... Poseidon, let's just go down the list, right? Poseidon is Greek, god of the ocean, god of the tides, right? Neptune, Roman, god of the ocean, god of the waves. Mazu is a sea goddess. And then following Mazu, it gets really interesting because we have god of the sea, god of the sea, god of the sea, right? God of the sea, god of the sea, goddess of the sea. Followed by Leviathan, who is a sea dragon in the Bible. In the book of Job, when Job finally is like, hey, God, you've gone too far. You let all this terrible stuff happen to me. What's going on? God is like, well, hey, you can't catch Leviathan. And I'm being very reductive here. It's going to sound blasphemous for a second, but the basic premise is that God is trying to tell Job, like, hey, you don't know what's going on, what's going to happen tomorrow. I do. Trust me, everything's going to work out. I know things look really bad right now. You don't have the right, though, to tell me I'm wrong. You have the right to question. You can ask any question you want, but you weren't there when I laid the foundation of the world. You can't catch Behemoth. You can't catch Leviathan, right? And the Leviathan that's referenced there is, and again, that's a very reduced version of the story to try and save time, because the actual story is really fascinating, the story of Job. It's heartbreaking in many ways. But Job does come out by the end of it. He's okay. Everything does, for the most part, work out. But Leviathan is this sea creature that can't be caught by a hook, that breathes fire underwater, right? That no man could grab, whose coils are strong and tail is mightier than a wave, right? And then Susanoo is the Japanese god of storms. And so it's, yes, of the sea, but also of storms. Specifically, he's Susanoo no Mikoto, right? The one who kills the Orochi, or the eight-headed serpent or nine-headed serpent. I don't remember off the top of my head. I'm so sorry. The one that finds the Kusanagi, the grass cutter blade. You know, it's an interesting set of things here, and what's most fascinating about them is that almost all of them are incredibly angry in a lot of their stories, right? For instance, we have, of course, the story of Poseidon destroying Odysseus' fleet. We have the story of Mazu, who defeats two demons. I think it's Chanlian and Shunfonga. I think so. I had them in my notes, and they're not in my notes right now, but defeats the two of them with martial might and strength, right? The strength of the ocean. You have Leviathan, of course, that can destroy an entire fleet, as well, and Susanoo, who his wrath was so great that lightning followed in his wake, that the two brothers Raijin and Fujin would follow in his wake, right? So all of these are references to the terror and the might and the destructive power of the ocean. And I think that's really cool, but I just think it's really cool that it wasn't just Poseidon and Neptune, right? It's also Mazu and Leviathan and Susanoo and Mikoto. I just realized all of that is going to be super fun when doing the captions in a little bit. Anyway, in Callum's story, in his domain that he's talking about here, right? The periscope is eating the crew. That they will go over there and the periscope will suck them in and consume them. That the missiles whisper to him and tell him to take their payload into his heart, and that when he tries to wrap himself around them, he melts into them, and when he pulls away, part of him is still remaining on the missiles. That their terrible mission awaits at their destination. That once they get there, the terrible things they will do, but also, were they to be stopped by a depth charge or a mine, this is what would happen. He goes into the destruction that theoretically must have happened many times, and the ship, the submarine, begins its voyage again, and it just repeats, right, as we've seen so many domains do. It's terrifying. I know that Alexander J. Newell wanted a submarine story for a while in Archives. Well, we got it now, and it's terrifying. Whew. Also, just real quick, if you are somebody that is in the comments, and by all means make your comment, and you're like, hey, the story of Job is more complex than that. Hey, the story of Susanoo or Mazu or Poseidon or Neptune, all of those are more complex. Please put that in the comment section, because I think that's really cool. I love reading it. I was just giving a short version of the story. There is a lot of back and forth on whether or not Leviathan's even real. Is God being figurative when he's talking to Job? And Mazu's not even the name that I believe the myth originated from for her. I believe it was, I have it written down here, Lin Monyang. I really hope I pronounced that right. I probably did not. Either way, obviously I know these stories are very nuanced, and they're not just, hey, big fish, but, you know, just for the sake of brevity here, we won't go into the entirety of the story of Job. But if that is something you would be interested in hearing more about, the story of Job, the story of Poseidon, mythology, anything like that, please do let me know in the comment section down below. I know we have a lot of stuff already that we're doing on the channel, and I have a hard time getting videos out on the schedule I want to get them out on, but coming up soon, there's going to be times where my baby boy is asleep, and I'm stuck at home while he sleeps. So, you know, just if that's something you want to hear about, let me know in the comment section down below. I actually think the story of Job and the story of Susanoo are both super interesting. So if you're curious. Anyway, I feel like I've misrepresented all of that. We'll continue. Everything is changing in the zone. It's not just more active, but things are shifting around. Things are not where they were before. Things have moved. In fact, there's a door that Olivia notices that has a very specific keyhole that was not there before, and when she turns her head and looks back, it's gone. So things are definitely changing in the zone. Also, anybody that can see is disoriented. The Archivist is using their eyes, whether to see through them or to trick them. And Melanie is the only one that is okay. So they try to follow Melanie. The other wardens are all sent home. And they fall into a tunnel. And in this tunnel, it's Sam and Melanie Georgie and Basira have been separated from them. How? I don't know, right? Theoretically, they would have all fallen together, but maybe it was a very large chunk of earth that came out underneath them. Either way, the Archivist shows up. Melanie confronts him. I thought for sure we were about to lose Melanie here. I really did. Melanie confronts him. The Archivist is not John. It has his story, though. I have thoughts on that. It compels Sam, and Sam starts talking about, I want to pull it up here because I thought it was super interesting. He starts talking about another statement. We're up to 3 statements from Sam now, effectively, which is crazy. This time at a zoo, it smelt wrong. And I want to come back to this. We'll cycle back around to this, but we'll finish talking about what happens in the episode first. But before the Archivist can drain Sam of this story, Alice shows up. The Archives World, Alice. And she tackles the Archivist in an incredible show of bravery. Alice is, as Alice has been, no matter what universe, ride or die, right? And she tackles the Archivist. The Archivist says that her story is told, her story is tired, and the Archivist kills her. Just outright kills her. And then, as Georgie and Basira close in, the Archivist leaves. I have so many things to talk about here, but as the episode wraps up, the zone is growing. The zone is getting bigger. So, did the Archivist leave because it is afraid of Georgie or because it has no effect on Georgie? Because Melanie was hurt. Melanie couldn't do anything to it. Or did it leave because it isn't scared of them at all? They are no threat to it, and it can take its time as it knows the zone is expanding. I think either one of those two possibilities are super interesting, right? If it is from the protocol world, like we believe, does it recognize that Georgie and Basira and Melanie have mastered their fear, as Basira conquered her fear of the hunt, right, with what happened with Daisy, as Georgie just doesn't have fear anymore, and Melanie took out her own eyes and mastered her fear? Does it have no effect on them, or is it that it's so powerful now it doesn't really matter if it goes back for another story from Sam or not? Is the Archivist, since it's not John but has his story, is the Archivist, it has to be somebody else, right? The voice is Beth Ayres, who voiced Lucia Wright, the woman that saw the ritual with the flesh and was wrapped up there. Is it her? Or is it just somebody else from the protocol world? Is it, what's her name, Red Fox? From the very beginning? Red Canary. I don't know how I forgot that. Is it Red Canary? And down there she got all of the stories? Is she the reason John and Martin are dead in the protocol world? There's so much I want to know, man. There's so much. And then we have Sam. Sam had another statement. Sam had the statement about the skeleton that came to life out of the paper skeleton, right? And Sam had the statement about the doctor in the archives that his skeleton left his body, right? Has Sam been touched by all the fears? And is the Archivist trying to get all of those stories? It seems like the Archivist just enjoys consuming these tales, right? But after it gets them, it has no more use for the people and it kills them. Is it that Sam has more because he's been touched by each one of the fears, kind of in the same way that John was before he was allowed to be an avatar? Because Sam is sprouting eyes, right, that had to be put out. What if he's already been touched by all of them over the course of his life, and the Archivist is trying to draw all of those out so that only the eye remains to be able to control him, to be able to take his body, to be able to use him for another ritual? Who knows, right? There's so much. This was a great episode. I'm really interested in hearing all of your thoughts on it. I feel like I missed something big in this episode, and I don't know what it is. I didn't look up anybody else's theories, right? But man, just the Callum and Olivia bitten by fog with teeth and killed that way. Just the zone is getting weird, man, and I love it. I'm so excited for where this is going to go. The zone is growing. They are no longer safe in the Archives world. They have to stop the Archivist. And how do you stop him? I'm so excited. I believe at this point we have Sam having been touched by all the fears, just like John was. We have an Archivist that is probably Red Canary, but who knows for sure, right? And we have a very, very upset Georgie. And I think this is a very interesting formula for what things are going to be. So let me know your thoughts. I did want to mention too real quick, Neptune also represents a planet, that's tied into alchemy there. And then Callum and the missiles fusing into each other, the periscope stealing from people. There definitely could be some alchemical stuff going on there. Water is used very often in alchemy, but water is also used very often in fear, and it should be. Water's terrifying. But, yeah, just some interesting things to think of there. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, and until next time, I've been Trey. This has been The Full Spectrum. Remember to always enjoy the full spectrum that Magnus has to offer.